Hi everyone, Michael here, Christ of England. Today I'm telling the British people that we need to look back in anger, but come up with positive solutions to the problems in our country. And I'm inspired to make this video because I was listening to the song Don't Look Back in Anger the other day, funnily enough. It came on my playlist. And it just reminded me of the complete and utter joke of a psyop after the Manchester Arena bombing, when some radical Muslims went in and detonated a bomb that blew up loads of young girls. Just an absolute sick, pathetic attack on the most innocent people in our country. And the response to it was even more sick in many ways. To say, don't look back in anger. They had even had a concert, Ariana Grande came back and sang Don't Look Back in Anger. And what do you mean, don't look back in anger? That we should just accept people blowing up young girls. And it was actually revealed later on by Connor Tomlinson and many others that this is actually a government psyop. There's a unit in the Home Office who basically are organised that when there's a terror attack, an Islamic terror attack, they get all the community leaders, all the Christian preachers and the imams, they all come together and say, oh guys, we need to unite to try and stop the protesting and stop the stuff that happened, for example, after Southport. And I think whilst some people went too far after Southport, I do agree that some people were stupid, and a lot of people, like I saw in Middlesbrough, young people weren't even protesting. They were literally just rioting. They were just grabbing metal poles and smashing it through house windows and smashing cars. People like that are morons, and they do deserve to be thrown in jail. The people who put on social media like this is a joke, we need to sort out immigration, they obviously don't need to be punished. And some people were punished for doing stupid things, but they could maybe, like I think her name Lucy Thompson or whatever, Lucy whatever her name was, she said something in the heat of the moment, deleted it. She was punished, but she maybe in my opinion should have been let off because she said something stupid in the heat of the moment. But we have the right to be angry when especially the most innocent in our society, young girls blown up in Manchester Arena and brutally murdered at Southport. We have every right to be angry, and we have every right to seek justice. And I believe those who claim don't look back in anger are actually sinful, because one thing I learned actually from the Bhagavad Gita, very beautiful teachings, is that it's a sin not to fight evil. Because Arjuna is a great warrior and he's involved in a battle, and he sees, like in COVID, when a lot of your family and friends and work colleagues or whatever were calling you an anti-vaxxer, and you just want to retreat and just step away from the battle because everybody's against you, or a lot of people are against you. God says to Arjuna, you must fight. It's a sin not to fight. And in the same way, it's a sin not to fight against the evil of radical Islam, or Islam in general, that wants to take over, dominate, murder, and abuse our citizens. It's a sin to allow it to happen. It's a sin to not look back in anger. Now, it's also a sin to look back in anger and do evil. So it's a sin to look back in anger and want to go and attack a mosque. That's a sin, and that's stupidity. What we need to do is look back in anger, but channel that into the spiritual power of Christ and seek justice in the correct ways, not in stupid ways. And that's why I set up the Christ of England, somewhere where we can go to wise people to come up with solutions. And if anybody attacks innocent people, then absolutely, they say violence is never the answer. No, sometimes violence is the answer. When you're dealing with radical people who the only way they can get their message across is violence, then they need to be met with violence. Make no mistake about it. And that's why we have armies, to protect people. And the innocent must be protected. But beyond the use of the absolute radicals, we need a spiritual and cultural revolution. That's how we can change our country and move away from all this leftist stupidity and communist and Islamic stupidity. We need to rely on the spiritual power of Christ and the love of the Father. And as I say, that's why I set up the Christ of England, so that we can come up with correct solutions to our problem. As I say, politics isn't the answer, religion isn't the answer, rioting and violence is not the answer, or violence is only the answer if we're defending ourselves against terrorism. Obviously, you don't sit by and let people stab and murder people. If terrorists come, then they're going to get wrecked. That's how it should be. But the answer is with the spirit of Christ and the love of the Father. And that's what the Christ of England is all about. So if you want to actually have solutions in this country, subscribe to the Christ of England. This is not a YouTube grift. I've set it up, or I will set it up as a charity, but I don't really want to involve the government. But either way, all the money will be used for the movement. I'll post monthly reports of the bank statements, so every single penny will be accounted for and people will see where the money is going and that there's no corruption involved. Okay, so subscribe to the channel. I'm just getting started. This is a plan for at least 25 years. I call it Operation 2050. So this is just the start. We're just literally getting started this year. So come and support us and we will make the difference in this country. As I said, subscribe, like the video, comment below for the algorithm, share it with as many people as you can. If you're English and you know loads of people and you're all fed up in your circles, share it on your Facebook groups, WhatsApp, whatever it is, and tell them to come and join the Christ of England, because we follow Christ, not the blind spiritual leaders and not the corrupt politicians. And we are the ones who will make the difference in our country. God bless everybody for now. Stay well and goodbye.